What's good? It's your boy DJ Fanatic at soundsforproducers.com. Guess what? I'm making a beat from scratch, and it's gonna be dope. Check it out. What's happening, y'all? Welcome to this blank canvas of a screen in FL Studio. Shout out to the FL Studio gang. All those that use FL Studio, but no, let me stop. Shout out to Logic Game too, man. And also, man, there's what's the other Machine? Shout out to my Native Instruments cats. Shout out to Okai, man, for sure. I'm a traditional Okai producer. Man, there's so many. Ableton, shout out to Ableton. Definitely Logic. You know, I already said Logic. Why I'm saying Logic twice? Anyway, it doesn't matter what DAW you use. Shout out to my producers, my music makers. As long as you can get that idea out your head and into the program and make it sound dope, it's all good. So anyway, yeah, shout out to the producers out there, man. I'm hearing some great stuff, especially, you know, on IG when I'm scrolling through, man. Shout out to all the producers on IG. Please follow us at Sounds for Producers on IG if you haven't already. And again, hit the subscription button. That way you get to see all the videos for this channel and also some more producer tips. And hit the bell so you get to see all the videos on here as well. So also shout out to all the artists grabbing that free Cayenne loop pack, which is dope. Make sure you get that while it's still available. I'll of course have the link in the description. So let's create a beat from scratch. I was thinking what type of approach, you know, to go with this beat. And usually with beats, I don't plan what type of beat I'm going to make. I kind of just go for whatever melody or whatever chord or whatever rhythm or whatever I run into and let it lead into something else. And then I kind of decide, you know, how I want to market it. And for all you producers out there, you know, that could work for you. I know a lot of producers would focus who they'll make it for. You can do it that way too. There's no right or wrong way about creating art, you know. So let me not just keep talking all the time, but remember, it's just art. So you can focus on an artist first, or you can think about what artists will sound good on it after. So it's all good. So let's go in our browser here. I thought we'll start with randomly going through some of our products here. I was thinking to figure out, let's start with a pad. Let's see which pad I like. Nice. I like this pad right here. So what I'm gonna do is actually grab the MIDI. In our loop packs we have the MIDI as well, and I'm gonna take the MIDI of that pad and probably transpose it. And let's see what's going on. Let's choose Nexus. So I haven't messed with Nexus in a while, so hopefully it loads okay. Yep, and let's go for a pad somewhere. You know what? I got some expansion things over the holiday, so I forgot what it was, which ones I got. But anyway, you can always just use a search that you did, hit pad, and let's find a pad that we like to use. The black gold pad. What's that sound like? It's kind of cool. We'll see if I can do something with that. So awesome way of loading MIDI. You can change that, not that. How did I do it? Hit this little overview button, and you can load that up, and then you can just drag the MIDI, which was pad loop 1, straight into that pattern. So your MIDI's already in there with that instrument. So let's hit play and hope it sounds decent. And we're actually gonna match the tempo to 150. And you don't have to match the tempo. I'm just matching it just for the sake of the video. So let me start with that and see what I can build from it. That sound is way complex, so I'm actually just gonna keep it playing and cycle through the sounds. Like that. So, and I like this key, so I'm gonna leave it as is. You can always, to transpose, you just Control A and just move it, shift up or down and transpose it to a different key. But I really like this key, so I'm gonna keep it. And I believe it's in G minor, and usually the ending chord or the first chord tells you the key. If you look at the tonic note, notice how it's doubled here. So usually that's the key of the scale. So we're gonna go to helpers. It's a quick way to let's say G, and it's minor natural or Aeolian. And notice how everything's in the lighted area. I did a video on the different helper options, so make sure you check that out on this channel as well. So now we got that. And actually, let's keep it all Nexus, actually, probably for this. We're going to create a new pattern. And what I would like to do, we're going to duplicate this, clone it, my bad. And for pattern 2, I'm actually going to use a piano. And let's see, let's not replace. Let's go into Nexus and go to, we can do a search for piano. You can rename it, and you can always keep your same searches and just rename it. And that way it'll pull up some nice, let's just start off the top. Select that, whatever that was, and let's go back to pattern 1 and actually copy the same chords and paste that in there, and let's see what happens with that. I was thinking more like a traditional piano, so I'm gonna just cycle through a little bit. Now that that's cool. And what I'm gonna do is actually strum it. So you can Control A and Alt S, and basically you have some type of parameters here. The timing obviously moves it further into the timeline, like forward, basically spreads the strumming apart, and the velocity gives you options from like the first note. If you notice, as you move it, the initial note goes lower or higher, so you can mess around with those settings and the tension or whatever. You can play around with these things. I usually just use time and velocity. So let's see what that sounds like. And what's cool, before you accept it, you can kind of preview it. Like that. And what you want to do is get your chop tool, whatever, your slice tool, and you can shift right click, and it'll cut off whatever is left of there, so that way it doesn't run over. And what else we're going to do here? Oh, Control A. I'm going to take it up an octave and see what it sounds like. Did it move? I don't think it did. actually do a arpeggiator. I'm hearing arpeggiation with that, so let me create a new pattern. There's other ways you can produce an FL. You can actually put everything. I'm saying actually a lot. So if you can count how many times I say actually, put it in the comments so I can laugh. Maybe I'll send you a free loot pack or something. So what do you call it? What was I gonna do? Oh, our arpeggiator. What are you doing? What are you doing? We can always just whatever. Okay, so pattern 3. Let's choose another nexus. Keep this nexus out because I haven't used it in a while. So with that, we can use a arpeggiator, or we can go with pluck. Let's go with pluck, and then just kind of create whatever we want. Nice. I like that. So we're gonna go to piano roll. Now for arpeggiator, we can kind of just create chords and then build from there. So let's create some chords. So let's make sure I snap to grid. It's probably on step. And I'll create a minor. Yep. Minor 7th. And if you haven't seen a video on how to make minor and major chords, I made a video on that as well on this channel. If you'd like to check that out. So what I'll do I will repeat that. Not really a arpeggiator, it's just some movement with the nice little bell in the background, and we'll copy that over and see what this sounds like. Nice. I like that a lot, actually. So we'll keep that as is. And you know what I might do with that to bring it a little more depth with that is probably use halftime. So needed just a little more creativity just to add a little extra on there. We're going to create an automation clip of the shaper box on the bells, and I'm actually just going to use it. I keep saying actually in this video. I'm going to use it on the tail end of this, not the whole part. So we're just going to go plop and bring that over, and hopefully it just works on this last bar of that pattern. My bad, I actually forgot to do this. So if you turn the mix level all the way down, initiate song with this position so it starts off. So obviously I got to do this and just make it work towards the end. Nice. And later in the beat we can probably switch things up if we like. So let's get some drums. Get some drums, man. So in every loop pack there is the bonus one shots, and there's tons of drum. Of course, there's tons of drum loops in every drum loop folder. I'm not going to use these. I can actually, you know what, I might use these. And of course you can always change the BPM, stretch it or whatever. So you know what, let's actually use, let's see what it sounds like with this kick. I don't know if I want to have a straightforward. You know, I want to do it from scratch, and these are good for like if you want to put something in the background, like a hi-hat. And I might, yeah, let's try this. Let's try drop a hi-hat in here, right? And a quick way to do that is turn on stretch. And you want to keep your snap to grid. Let's stretch that out. You can move the audio, and that way it's right on 8 bars. I want to zoom in so you can see it. And then you go to the audio that you dragged in and go to stretch. And that way it retains the same pitch of that hi-hat instead of it sounding like really high pitch. I like it. I'm gonna keep that right there. But let's do all, and we'll pitch it up a little bit. Nice. Let's route it. Alright, I just had a feeling. I'm gonna just go on a whim here and see what this kick would sound with this type of rhythm. The pattern, I want to see what this pattern of kick sounds with this beat. It could sound like some crap. It could sound pretty dope. You know, sometimes you just gotta take a leap of faith. So let's drag that in the playlist as well. And it's a super long, what do you call it? Drum loop. Actually, yeah. So let's just see what happens. We're gonna stretch it. It's in stretch mode. So this might sound crazy, but whatever. I'm not afraid to sound crazy on camera. Alright, so make sure it's right on there, and then we're going to go to the audio once again and change this mode to stretch. And that's a quick way just to get your audio into the playlist when it'll sound decent. So let's see what this sounds like. take it out. It has like this like trip hop almost feel. Like some overseas stuff. So I'm gonna take that out. Even though I love, all types of music, but it reminds me of if you know about this group called The Streets, I think that's the name of the album. But I remember hearing that years ago, and I was blown away by the musicality in that album. Look it up. Yeah, it's called The Streets, and these guys, I think they're from the UK. So shout out to the UK. I appreciate you guys, for actually buying some of these loot packs and also buying some of my music. So UK goes hard, man. You guys don't sleep on them. So anyway, let's I might just create something from scratch here. Let's go to the bonus one shots. Also hearing to do some filter movement here, so I'm gonna do it with the shaper box as well. So let's solo that, pull that back up, and let's see what we want to do filter wise. Do we want to do a basic? Yeah, something basic. Bring down the mix level. Let's mess around with creative. Nice. Let's see what that sounds like with the beat. Pattern I put that in. See, that's when you start getting in the zone. Let's copy that and cut that. Hopefully I don't mess that up. And create a new pattern, pattern 4, and plop that right there in track 6. And my bad, if you hold down Alt, I think it's Alt, yeah, it makes the track links higher or vertical, and you hold down Shift Alt. I think it's Shift Alt. Yeah. Oh, I gotta get out of stretch mode. Hold on. I'll show you. Make sure that's on because I don't want any problems. I don't want no trouble. Let's change that. What's going on here? Okay, so if you hold, I think it's Shift. I did not know why it's doing that. Is it Control Alt? There we go. Control Alt does horizontal without having to go up to the ruler every time. Anywhere in the playlist window, Control Alt does horizontal, and just Alt. And this is with your scroll wheel on the mouse. See? There's a little tip for you. I showed that in another video, but I'm not sure which one. So that was obviously off. So that's still on none. So let's use the shortcut like I just did. Alt and Control Alt. There we go. Control Alt again. Use the scroll wheel on your mouse. And let's just go here so I can see exactly what I'm doing. Bet. And you can, in YouTube, especially being able to talk so much in some of these videos, you can always just use the speed level, just multiply it by 2. That way you can get through the video faster, if you're short for time and I'm making super long videos. I just like to take my time with beats, so I'm feeling this one. So before I forget, this is pattern 4, and let's paste. Hopefully it's still on the clipboard. Yes. So let's continue this pattern and close the browser window. And snap the grid. We can do half beat. And always listen to what's in your head. That's like a really subtle kick. I'm gonna show you a little trick that you can do to give it a little punch. One way. Just EQ it a little bit. Keep it dark, lower the highs. I'm gonna sweep the frequencies. I like it right there. Maybe a little bit of high rate. Hear the presence already? Now we're going to use Fruity Soft Clipper. Now watch your ears here and your studio monitors. What I'm going to do is actually raise the in levels adjustment in the wrench tool. You're going to raise the volume multiplier, and it's going to give it that harder knock. In conjunction with that, bring your post down. You can mess around with your threshold. I'm going to bring down the post. Back to the Fruity wrapper and raise the volume. And this is before, of course, with the volume higher, but it's clipping that way. My bad if I, messed up your ears or whatever, man. Be careful. And this is with, it just gives it a little more presence. Hey, now you feel me. So let's get some more instruments going on, some more sounds. Let's see. it's gonna be on a 3 and a 7, 4, 5, 6, 7, because we're in double time, and I'm gonna do like some quick little claps here and there, but mainly I get my straight rhythm first, and then I'll figure out where I want to put the more nuanced stuff. Drop. In addition, slaps sound good eyes on. See what happens. Oh. I like how clean it sounds with that. And we're gonna use the not doubler, but what was it? Stereo enhancer. This way it gives it like a stereo image. What you can do, we're not going to invert stereo separation. We're going to increase that, and the phase offset. Oh no. There you go. You can do, and there's presets in here too. There we go. Just to kind of give it a little. And I didn't EQ it, so let's EQ it. Got things just really loud and your drums are getting kind of swallowed up, you can always just highlight your other elements and lower it. And I didn't want to lower the clap, so there we go. Hopefully you can hear me. Let's see. Okay, let's go back in here. So let's use, I think we had some cymbals. Let's try this. That'll work. 6. I'm going to use that for the cymbal crash. Right here. Our volume's good, so let's just cut out some lows just in case. Keep everything real clean, you know? That way your music sounds a lot more professional. Shout out to my engineers out there. Speaking of engineers, man, if you watched the Grammys recently, you know, shout out to Kato on the track at BeatStars, man, because he said something really, I've been saying it for a long time too, man. Shout out to the engineers that always make our stuff look and sound good. Look meaning sonically, because without engineers that work so hard on these hit songs, man, you know, we wouldn't sound as good. So producers, I know you watch this channel, you know, appreciate your engineers, man, because they're like the guys behind the scenes that make stuff sound so good when, you know, sometimes the sounds that we chose and the way we sent them files or whatever isn't perfect, and they make things sound so much better. And everyone plays a part: engineers, songwriters, artists, producers. So you definitely got to show love, especially if they know what they're doing. So I started as a sound engineer years ago, and, you know, built up with, you know, more skills and, you know, sound design stuff and production wise and DJ wise. But yeah, shout out to engineers, man. And I'm actually going to add some reverb on that. Raise the decay, raise the wet level. The second part of the kick unique. I like it. Keep that. You know what I'll do though is lower this. Hey, that sounds nice. And when I make that A sound, that means something's happening. So we're gonna get a little unique with the clap and see what happens. Notice when I bring it lower, it gives a perception of the pitch changing. It's very subtle, but listen. It sounds higher, doesn't it? It's actually the same note. That's a little producer tip that I'll give you here in this video, for hanging out this long in a video. I know it's getting late actually, so I might wrap it up, but and then finish up this beat. But anyway, let's we're gonna match that volume. Select that to keep the name going. And I'm gonna make this unique. So next, what I'm hearing is like a steady hi-hat through it. So we'll do a steady hi-hat. Let's check here. Is straightforward. Yeah, we're gonna fill each two. I think that's what it says. Fill each 2 steps, and just do that. It's fine. I wanted something steady in the background since we got such a not a complex, but a busier pattern with the other sounds. So let's see what that sounds like. And notice I chose a really light hi-hat, nothing too heavy, because I already have some heavier sounds going on. Let's route it to 8. And we're going to delay it a little bit, wrench through and shift it. And that little tip right there, man, shout out to Game at busyworksbeats.com. Brother, appreciate you, man. The shifting of the notes is just essential when you want to get a certain groove into the what do you call it, especially if you want notes to go off the grid. Basically you're kind of defining your own swag, you know, because you're the one that feel that. And the more you produce music and you kind of develop your own sound, and this little button right here is special. So anyway, and also on a producer note, you know, it's wide open, man. Don't think that you're hiding stuff or you're not teaching. I mean, keeping it for yourself or whatever. You know, everyone uses tools differently, and people discover things just by messing around in this one little fruity rapper. You know, mod X, mod Y. Maybe you do that in all your drums. You know, you never know what one little thing will set you different. And sharing that with other people, they may interpret it differently and come up with something totally new. So there's tons of room and tons of abundance for everyone to learn and be their own. So don't feel like, you know, oh, I can't tell anybody how to do that. Here, I definitely want you to expand and be major. You know, my vision for a producer is whatever your vision is, whatever you want to take this, you know, whether it's past the Grammys, you know, or, you know, you want multiple artists signed on your record label and you produce for all of them, whatever your vision is, you know, go for it. And don't ever hold back. So I don't know how I got on that tangent. Let's get back to the music. far. Now I've been trying to figure out if I want to do a synth bass or an 808 with this. So I think I used this in the last beat. I don't remember. And I like it, so we're gonna use an 808. Feel free, on your own, you can check out different synth basses with this type of beat, or you can use an 808. It's fine. Quick way to tune your 808 to the key is go to Edit in Audio Editor or Edison if you use an older version. We don't need that. We can take that off, and we go right here. We go to Detect Pitch Regions. It's C2, and you close that. Sometimes it just goes to the so anyway, open a Fruity Wrapper and go to Wrench Tool and right click on the root notes. Notice it changes, and this way if you have helpers on, you can actually use the notes, and you're tuned to the key of your song instead of having some out of key 808, which sounds horrible and mediocre. I'm not dissing anybody, but when people hear when I hear 808s out of tune, I know that the producer is at a certain level, so this sets you at a different level. So let's and there's different ways to tune the 808 too. You can whatever. So let's route that to 9 and go to piano roll, and there's our 808. I'm gonna create an 808 in a higher octave so I can hear it. So let's start there. Kind of follow the kick here and just feel it out. My bad, y'all. I'm getting tired. Control A and put it down an octave, and this is when everyone gets happy. Lower. It's actually too low down here, so we're gonna raise it up an octave. keep it. Save. Make that unique and just do a different pattern here. And we're just gonna shift that up here and do some octave jumps. Boom. Keep pretty straightforward and just do octave jumps for this one. You can always just experiment, you know, with different patterns with your 808. Scratch that idea. Add a little distortion. Video is getting super long, so let's I'm gonna show you how to sidechain the kick to the 808, and it sounds pretty much where I want to take it, and then I'll just kind of build it in song format and do some cool stuff, just like to build it up and break it down. But it sounds pretty straightforward. Let's show you how to sidechain. What you want to do is select the kick, and you can right click. This is one way of doing it. Route to, no, excuse me, sidechain to this track, and what you want, and select the 808 and then choose the Fruity limiter and compressor, move that up one, the sidechain up one, and then you can just raise the ratio and the knee all the way up if you want. Big difference, isn't it? That way the kick cuts through the 808. So let's add some color in here. Now that we got some things going on, let's rename and color. Let's do this nice gradient. Boom. Enter. There we go. So now let's Control A and drag that over, and drag it over again, and I'll probably just do this 8-bar intro. Take out the kick, let's take out the clap, let's take out the straight hi-hat, and actually let's bring this over, and I think that may sound good. Let's take out the 808 and take this out, and what did we start with? Let me see what sounds good. Happens. Pretty dope. What I do want to take out is right here. I want to do like a drop so they can hear that little scratching that I did in the bells. Check this out here. How happy I got, so that'll work. And I might do some other processing there, just some other tricks before I start the beat straight into the chorus, and then just build it, you know, verse chorus or whatever, and probably do some change ups here and there. But you know, it's just coloration towards the end, into the beat. So anyway, I made this video so long, my bad. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, if you'd like to see more beat making videos like this, definitely hit the sub button as well as the bell. Thank you for our subscribers. You know, definitely appreciate you, and hopefully you're learning something. And as you can see, pretty much all these sounds came from the loop pack. So yeah, quick way of making beats really fast, especially if you're not inspired and you just want to jump right in, man. You want to, like, you know, be inspired without having to like dig deep, you know what I'm saying? As soon as you put the sounds on, you're like, man, that's kind of cool. And I was exhausted today and didn't feel like making music, but once I, you know, went into the MIDI and just chose some sounds, I'm good to go. So anyway, again, DJ Fanatic at soundsforproducers.com. Keep making dope music, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace. Enough of that.